welcome back to the channel. I figured it was about time to do a first trimester recap. By now, when I'm filming this, I'm almost 18 weeks pregnant, and I'll show you. I've got a cute little belly going on. Ivy's growing big, but I haven't had a chance to film the first trimester recap, and I figured it'd just be fun to share with everyone and try to remind myself after she's born why I don't want to get pregnant again for a while. I would say my first trimester, sorry I wrote it down here, but was not terrible, but it was also not amazing. So we'll just get into everything that happened, and no, Garrett won't be in this video because, you know, he doesn't have much to say because I'm doing all the work. But anyway, let's get right into it. So I found out I was pregnant on June 20th, and I was about 3.5 weeks at that point. And I obviously didn't feel anything when I first found out. I just had really weird, vivid dreams, which is why I was And I was out of breath a lot, which I still am, so don't mind me if you hear me huffing and puffing, and Tucker's in the corner huffing and puffing as well. But I feel a couple days, maybe a week after I found out, I started waking up every night, multiple times a night with really bad lower stomach cramping, kind of like TMI, but when you feel gots to go. But it was technically considered round ligament pain because when your uterus is growing, I guess you just can feel a lot of cramping down there. So every night, I would wake up and I would just feel kind of sick because I would be cramping so bad, and I really couldn't sleep through it. So that went on from 3.5-ish weeks to 5 weeks. And then from 5 to 6 weeks, I stopped having any symptoms. I had no more cramping. I obviously wasn't showing, wasn't throwing up yet or anything. I just feel I was extra hungry, extra tired, and extra thirsty. So I felt pretty good there, and I told Garrett, I was I think I'm just lucky. I think my pregnancy is gonna be easy. And I was wrong about that. Week 7, so this was sometime at the beginning of July, I started having terrible heartburn. And I've never had heartburn before, really. I mean, I guess maybe I've had something really spicy, but the first time I experienced it was when we had tacos for dinner, and tacos are my favorite food. So we had tacos, we went to a church meeting, and during the meeting I was my heart is on fire. And we came home and I was just dying. I felt so sick. I thought I was gonna throw up, but I never did. It was just the burning sensation all the way up my throat. But then to take any Tums just made me want to throw up. They tasted so bad. And honestly, that was when I stopped eating food. Even to now, I can't eat anything. I can't drink any pop. I can't drink lemonade, sweet tea, any, thing that has any citrus in it. So I'm pretty much drinking water, which a lot of times water makes me nauseous, which week 7, I think was when water started making me feel sick too. I can't have tacos. I can't have any red sauce. Sorry, Tucker's being annoying. Let me think what else I can't have. I can't eat chocolate. Week 7, I remember we had bought chocolate chip cookies, and I really wanted one after work, and I went to eat one, and I had the worst heartburn afterwards. So chocolate's a no-go for me now. Honestly, any sweet started being something I couldn't even tolerate anymore. Yeah, so it made me feel I was going to throw up. So that was the biggest thing, is I thought I was gonna throw up, and I kind of wanted to throw up because I wanted to feel better, but I never actually did, which was just so obnoxious. So from there, Garrett had gone away to a kids camp because he's a kids and youth pastor, and I obviously did not go, but he got, of course, he got really sick from it, and he came up home and he was throwing up, so he threw up before I even did in my pregnancy. But he gave me that sickness, and it was so bad. We ended up going to the doctor, and they said that we didn't have strep, we didn't have COVID, we didn't have the flu. We just had ear infections, and then they could tell that our throats were just a little inflamed. But I had such a bad cough, but I would try to suck it in and hold it in, because every time I would cough, I would start to gag. And so that was the first week that I threw up. I think I only threw up like once or twice, but it was literally just because of coughing. Like I wasn't even feeling nauseous. It was just like the coughing would bring up like a gag. And then every time I gagged, I would vomit. So that was annoying. And another bad thing was that cold lasted from like 8 to like 10 or 11 weeks. Like it lasted for probably almost a month just because I couldn't take really any medication. Like originally when we went to the doctor, they didn't want to even prescribe me anything, but finally I was allowed to take Flonase and I want to say Zyrtec, but they were like, don't take it too much. And so it didn't do like anything for me. I just had to like let the virus run its course, which was annoying because Garrett got antibiotics and felt better after like a week or two. And so I was sick for a month because I couldn't really take anything. And I already didn't like food, so it was just very annoying that I was sick as well and couldn't really taste anything. So that was definitely not fun. So now for weeks 10 to 12, or technically 10 to 13, because like that's like the end of the first trimester, beginning of the second trimester, that's when nausea really kicked in. So like from the time I found out till like 10 weeks, I was like, maybe I'm lucky. Like the worst thing that happened is like heartburn and then like having a cold. And I thought like, maybe I just like got over it, because they say you're supposed to feel better by 12 weeks. And so it was like 10 weeks and I was like feeling okay. But then the nausea like really hit me. I started feeling nauseous like all day and not much helped. I tried the Preggy Pops, which honestly, I've really liked them. I don't know if they actually help or just are like making me feel like they're helping, but that's when nausea like really kicked in, and that was just shocking to me because I really thought that I was gonna be like over the hump. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do so good. Like I didn't get sick a lot, but no, I threw up probably not every day, but like a few times a week, and like no food was good. Even still, like no food sounds good. Like I will be hungry, but no snacks sound good, no food sounds good. But this is when I really had like the most food aversions. Like I think he tried to eat chicken one night and I like gagged and then like threw up. And meat, like red meat, doesn't sound good anymore from then to like now. And I'm trying to think what else. Heartburn was still happening just like every day, even if I wasn't eating something that would cause heartburn. So I think that was tough because I wanted to eat, I was hungry, couldn't really eat anything, and then everything I would eat would cause heartburn, and I had nausea from everything, so I could barely get through my day. I would mainly, at that point, I was throwing up at night, which was like so random. It'd be like I would take a shower at night and then get out and like throw up. It wasn't like morning, it was mainly night, which I thought was very interesting. But then of course like throwing up ruins the food that you had eaten before that. So that was just, very fun. And yeah, at that point I was like, maybe I don't like being pregnant. Maybe I don't want to do this again, because it was very tough. Week 13 is technically like the second trimester, but I figured I would just share what happened then too, because it got so much worse. Like I thought I had bad nausea from weeks 10 to 12, but then week 13 brought on like way worse. Like it was like terrible. The heartburn was like unbearable. It started like, it was acid reflux. I couldn't sleep at night. I was just like on fire. And my doctor prescribed like medication for me for nausea and heartburn, but there can be like birth defects for the baby if you take it too much. So I haven't even taken any of the heartburn medication yet. But I was just like eating Tums like crazy. The chewable ones I found out were a lot better than the like chalky ones. And Garrett's mom had a flavor at her house, like orange creamsicle, and that was way better than the mixed berry. So I still am using that. I just felt sick all the time, and I just felt miserable, and trying to like go to work at the church and trying to like go to church services and just like be fine. Like by then we had told people, but just like trying to like put on like a smiling face when I was like, I feel like I'm gonna puke all over you right now was really, really tough. And I think like that week I threw up almost every day. It was sometimes twice a day, and that's when like morning nausea really hit me. And even to now, like week 13 was when like brushing my teeth became really bad. And like even the thought of brushing my teeth made me gag and throw up. And that's still happening. So like sometimes I have to just try not to think about like brushing my teeth, like just like pretend like I don't like think about something else, or I have to take nausea medicine before I even brush my teeth. So I didn't realize that that was going to be something that lasted like this long, but I talked to my doctor about it and she said that like some people have like either like the food aversions or like not wanting to brush their teeth like the whole pregnancy, like that makes them nauseous the whole pregnancy. So that was definitely something I didn't expect, and I had to start taking the nausea medicine because I really like did not want to take any medication unless it was like an emergency, but I was so sick and miserable that I had to start taking it, and it helps a lot. The only bad thing is it's like you put it under your tongue and let it dissolve, and that tastes nasty, so I kind of like almost throw up just from taking it. And so even to now that I'm almost 18 weeks, so from 13 weeks to now, I've pretty much taken nausea medication every morning. Even before I brush my teeth, I'll take it and eat like fruit snacks or something with it. And that seems to help a little bit. I mean, the worst part is not being able to brush your teeth like as soon as you wake up. And even like now every morning, I do still feel nauseous when it's time to brush my teeth. Like how random is that? It's such a random like pregnancy symptom. But still no cravings. So, I mean, in the first trimester, I usually don't have cravings, but even to now, I haven't had any cravings. Really, like, I mean, sometimes things will sound good. Like for a couple weeks, strawberries with sugar sounded good. And so I would eat that. So like anything that I think sounds good in the moment, I will like eat a lot of it. But still, I don't really like a lot of things. I would say dairy has become like a big part of my, appetite when like before I got pregnant I wasn't really eating dairy at all, so that definitely has not been great. Digestion has slowed down, so if you know what I mean, that's not fun either. But I will definitely try to keep writing down different symptoms so that I can film a second trimester recap of everything as well and just see if things start to get better from here. But anyway, that is my first trimester recap, so not much. I don't have much to say about it, just I felt good for a while and I really thought that I was one of the lucky ones, but then no, I guess I'm not. And so I am, 17 and a half weeks. And some people that I know said that like they felt sick until 17 weeks. So maybe 18 weeks will look up for me. Maybe it'll take till 20 weeks. It could be the whole pregnancy. Some people have been like making me scared because they're like, oh, I was sick my whole pregnancy. And I'm like, I hope that's not me because I don't know how much longer I can take it. But I do have to say, I do feel better throughout the day now. Like the nausea usually stops after the morning, but like right now as I'm filming this, I have really bad heartburn. And I just think it's inevitable. And I think that's just something that I'm gonna have to live with. So if you have really bad heartburn before you're pregnant, good luck to you because this doesn't feel good. I'm hoping that as soon as the baby's born, it'll go away. But I also haven't felt her kick yet, so hopefully in the next few weeks I'll feel her kick, but she's definitely starting to show, and that's so cute, and it's very exciting. But I do love pregnancy, but at the same time I don't, but I'm very thankful to be pregnant. But yeah, so I'll have to film a second trimester. I don't know when the third trimester starts. I think it's like 28-ish weeks. So still have a while, like 10 weeks until then. So we'll see how everything starts to go. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry Garrett's not in it, but he'll be in the next one.